Hi.
Hi, Mrs. Dunn. How are you doing today?
Doing good, thank you.
I'm so glad that you scheduled this appointment today, and we can go over Eric's scores that he received on our standardized test of achievement and how it lines up with his progress in class.
Okay, so I was kind of confused about what the scores meant, and I want to know more about how Eric did on his achievement test.
I'm really glad that you have this curiosity. So for starters, the Scholastic Test of Achievement is not pass or fail, so don't worry about that. We're looking at how our students compare to a national average and how they are academically compared. So Eric is actually only referred to by an ID number, so you won't have to worry about his identity getting out to the masses. So also keep in mind that we took this test at the beginning of the year, so we didn't really cover all of the content, but he has gotten most of it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so let's look at this test. So it actually breaks down into two sections. The top section is the norm referenced information group. So like I was saying earlier about the national comparisons, this norm reference group is how they scored compared to thousands of students in the same grade who are taking the same test under the same circumstances. So, and then the bottom of our test is the criterion-based information portion, and that is actually how the students scored on the actual content of the test. So, do you have any questions in particular?
Yeah, so why are there so many different scores on for each subject? Is that like really necessary? And I also see many grades in the 40s and 50s. Did he fail?
I can totally see where you're coming from. So let me show you what these different scores mean. So the first column shows how many items were on the test, on that part of the test, while the second one is the raw score. So this actually shows how many he answered correctly out of the possible number of questions. For example, if you look at the vocabulary section, there were 36 questions and Eric answered 26 correctly, which puts him in the 49th percentile. That is our third column on our test results. To understand the percentiles, we actually look at our bell curve, if you want to hold that. So if you look at the bell curve, you can look right there in the center, and where I highlighted, that's the average of the norm group. So that's that's the 50th percentile, right there in the middle. Since Eric scored in the 49th percentile, we can say that he actually scored 49% better than the average norm group.
Okay, that's cool. Not too bad. But I see he's below average in math then, right?
I can see that observation. Well, yes, in problem solving, he scored in the 39th percentile. Still very close to the average on our bell curve, but look,